works out we are actually in Hogwarts Great Hall. It is incredible, and this is one of the world's biggest film stars, and she's in my arms. I've dreamt of being in this position. Isn't she gorgeous? You know what they say about us Brits? We love our animals more than we love people. So, whilst they're filming the fourth and latest film in the series, The Goblet of Fire, we've come down to meet some of the more unusual stars of the show. We'll be taking a look at a whole host of animals, from Hagrid's dog Fang to the spooky ravens and bats that inhabit Hogwarts School. No, of course. We couldn't forget about you, Hedwig, could we? The Harry Potter films are jam-packed with all sorts of animals. Nearly every scene has some fur or feather in it. And of course, all the inhabitants of Hogwarts have their own special pet, including Emma Watson, who plays Hermione.
Harry! It took me 3 films to get my own animal, and when I did, I was so chuffed. Rupert and Dan gave me a lot of grief about my cat Crookshanks, because it looks like he's been smacked in the face with a pan.
You've got a completely flat face. It's not a cat, it's a cartoon of a cat.
But I love her. She's so cute and so fluffy, and love her.
Going to Hogwarts means you don't always get something cute and fluffy.
I don't mind having a toad, actually. I know a few of my neighbours where I live have ponds in their gardens, and they have like frogs and toads in there, so I'm quite used to them. When I was a kid, I used to always go around there, so yeah, it's quite cool to get a toad, I guess.
Not all actors are as happy as Matthew to work with animals.
For a shot, all you want is the animal to know exactly what it has to do and to do it. Because if the animals get off script, you're in real trouble.
Ask me to remind you.
Do you know what I mean? Because then you do 20 takes and they'll print the one that the animal got it right, even if you were rubbish. That's why actors don't like working with animals.
A challenge for some, but at times director Mike Newell finds the animals no worse than the actors.
That's it. I think the worst thing that we had to do was to get an owl to peck Dan's hand. And that took, I don't know, that took about 25 takes, something like that. But then honestly, a big star can take you 25 takes.
Just like any film stars, these animals require a lot of pampering, training and attention. Most of the Harry Potter animals live on set and are looked after 24 hours a day by Gary Giroux and his team of helpers.
I have probably the greatest group of animal trainers that have ever been put together.
For the staff, it's a full-time job.
There's 150 animals in the compound, and so when Harry Potter is down, there's always staff here continually, 365 days a year.
150 animals need a lot of care. Every day they're cleaned, weighed and exercised even before the training begins. The trainers get a daily call sheet which tells them what animals will be required, and those animals have to be fully trained and ready for their part. Keeping an eye on them all is Janice Caputo from American Humane, an animal welfare organisation.
I'm here to make sure that there are no problems with sets or individuals or conduct or noise or sound or any of those things while an animal is in action. In the event that something were to happen, then I can stop the filming at that position.
But where do you find animals that are used to life on a film set? Are they bred specifically for their roles in Harry Potter?
We don't do any breeding. We try not to bring anything into this world specifically for film work or for our company. We strive to get animals that are already born, raised by parents, but young, impressionable, and can learn quickly in this new environment and make this their home.
Now, one of the biggest scenes for the animals in The Goblet of Fire takes place in the Owlery, and it's also a huge scene for Harry as well. Bit of a plot giveaway here, put your fingers in your ears if you don't want to listen. He has to ask someone on a date. I know. Hedwig was furious.
I was just wondering if maybe you wanted to go to the ball with me.
Shooting a scene like this is very complicated. Harry not only has to get romantic, but he has to do it in front of 68 owls trained to stay very still on their perches. So Simon, we're about to do this big scene here in the Owlery, which you are solely responsible for.
Yes.
Obviously the birds have been brilliantly trained, but do you get nervous?
Oh yes, you always want to make sure, because of course, as they say, don't work with animals and children.
So what potentially could go wrong?
They can jump off their perches, like the barn owl here can disappear into the back of the box under these bright lights.
Whereabouts are you when they're filming? Are you very close to hand?
Yes, we're just off shot, just in case anything jumps out or jumps from its perch, we can then reset it.
It might look easy to sit on a perch, but it's taken months to train each owl to stay put. Gary, how do you go about getting them to sit so still?
First challenge, of course, is acclimating the birds to the environment. If they're comfortable in the environment, and if they don't have a food drive that's asking them to go somewhere else, pretty much all they have in their interest is to sit there. So the boys spent 2 months acclimating them to the stage environment and to their little apartments.
So a little bit of food, a little bit of atmosphere, and they're happy.
They are. We feed and exercise them first, and then it's time to nap in the apartments.
Now, for filming in the owlery, where all the owls are used, it's absolutely covered in owl poo.
It is. It's pretty much about poo.
Is this the usual amounts that you'd get in an owlery?
Yes, obviously if nobody cleans them up. And so we always wondered why, because especially this being Hogwarts, why can't they just wave a wand and clear it out?
I imagine the art department have come down and looked at what owl poo actually looks like.
Yes, they came down, had a look to see how it falls, see what colour it is. Luckily they haven't reproduced the smell.
Is it quite a bad smell usually?
Yeah, I mean, obviously our birds don't get this bad because we clean them every day. Of course. But yes, obviously like anything, if it's left it could smell.
Have you found that the actors working with the animals have got really good at sort of coping with how the animals
Oh
react?
yes, they're quite happy to be in the environment with the birds. They're not worried about it. Yeah, they cope with it very well.